Hey there, this is Walking with Jesus Ministries International, and I am Paul Walker. I'd like to thank God for waking me up this morning, and thank you for watching. There is so much material here. It's been taking me forever to go through it. I don't know when I'm going to get this up, but obviously you're seeing it now. Been trying for 3 p.m., but let's see. I have a couple of other customers to meet with my other business, but this is super important, so I've been spending a lot of time with this. Let's see. I put a new version of Footprints up. I mean, it's the same version. It just so that you can see the words a little better. And what has been going on in LA is absolutely crazy. Let's get into that, and I'm going to show you how that relates to the Bible.
If someone ever asks you what the difference is between a Democrat and a Republican, you don't have to mention politics. Democrats are famous for doing one thing more than any other group of people on the planet. Democrats love to virtue signal. Democrats love to show everyone else what good, wholesome people they are. And they do it all the time. Even the definition of virtue signaling is in itself a virtue signal.
I want to say, I don't believe this applies to all Democrats. This applies to all of the left. And a lot of the Democrats have left the left because of what they're doing. But this is the left. This is the Marxist, crazy anti-Americans that he's talking about.
The act of displaying one's awareness of and attentiveness to political issues and matters of social and racial justice instead of taking effective action. That is a virtue signal.
2 Timothy 3:1-4 says, This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, trucebreakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, heady-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. This is exactly what he's talking about there. I am so much better than you. Let me show you how I'm fixing this community and doing this for these people and being offended for these people. And all they're doing is talking, but they're not actually saying anything, and they're sure as hell not doing anything. He goes into a little bit more about it with the Ukrainian flags and Black Lives Matter flags and just total BS.
Look how much I care. Look how much more I care than you. All Democrats, all trying to show everyone else how much they care. How much they care more than you about a drug addict criminal, St. George Floyd. If you really cared, why don't you move into the inner cities? Show us all how much you care by doing that. That's how you can show us.
Just like the hate has no home here, no immigrant, no person is illegal. But when Ron DeSantis flew them over to that super wealthy island where Barack Obama lives and a bunch of other just crazy rich people, Martha's Vineyard, within 18 hours, they had the military escort them off the island. Because hate has no home here. Oh, yeah. Took the military to get them out. They're such con men and women. They're pieces of crap. They're evil. Because everything that they say they represent the opposite.
Remember COVID-19? Of course you do. And I bet you know someone that still wears a mask. So you see people wearing masks. Kamala voters, I'm guessing. It's gotten to the point here in New York City where wearing a mask has become a way to identify how people vote. That's how bad it is. It is the ultimate virtue signal. They are. Masks don't work, and that's according to the CDC.
This is how worthless the COVID masks are. That's not going to stop COVID. The vape juice is 400 times larger than the COVID virus. Stop wearing your freaking mask.
And Democrats have been doing this for a long time. In 1979, President Jimmy Carter had solar panels installed on the roof of the White House to show the world how serious the Carter administration was about climate change. Take a look.
Today, I am sending to the Congress legislative recommendations for a new solar strategy that will move our nation toward true energy security and abundant, readily available energy supplies.
Okay, I sell solar.
All right, welcome to Frontline, folks. Let's take a look.
I sell solar, and back then you're getting like a watt for a $50,000 panel. It's never going to be abundant because we can't harness enough of it, and the sun is only out half of the day. What's his name? Ronald Reagan took the panels off after that, and then so what Ronald Reagan did and what Trump is doing, has done, and will do again, is tap our natural resources. God gave us this land for a reason. We have so much energy right beneath our feet. And we have all of the technology to get it out and to sell it at a low price and completely eliminate our debt and supply the entire world, the people that we want to have it, and just help our allies and charge a higher price to our enemies. And America will be riding so high on top of all of this money that's coming in, it's not even funny. But I want to do a solar panel and the wind turbines that are killing fish and wildlife. Now, Matthew 24:10-12 says, "And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall arise, shall deceive many. Because of the iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." So all of the people on the left are offended about everything, things that don't even have to do with them. They get offended for other people, which is classic. And they totally betray one another. They stole the election in 2020, and they put Biden in. All of a sudden, 20 million voters appeared that year that didn't vote in the next election with all the photocopying of all the ballots. So they got him in because they didn't want Trump in, and they tried to embarrass Trump, whatever. But as soon as it was obvious that there was no way in hell they could cheat enough to get Biden to win, they took him right out. They took him right out. Like nobody. I guarantee they threatened him with putting his son in jail and coming after him. I mean, all those people know where the other people's bodies are, and it's all evil and it's all blackmail. But they did that to him. They didn't support him because he was a good president or they respected him. No, they wanted Trump out, so they used him. And as soon as he wasn't good anymore, bye-bye. Absolutely crazy. False prophets. Okay, this woke stuff is a straight-up religion. It is a straight-up religion, and it has taken over climate change, and it includes climate change now, which is all BS. If you think man is going to destroy something that God doesn't want destroyed? No, what they're destroying is our finances and making us poor, bringing us back to the Dark Ages. I don't think God wants that either. I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like he wants us to go backwards. That's why Trump won this time.
All right, welcome to Frontline, folks. Let's take a look at live in California where the apocalyptic wildfires are basically blazing through Los Angeles County. Correspondent Heather Myers is on the ground there. Heather?
Look at that. I like how they say apocalyptic wildfires because that's what it looks like. 60,000 homes destroyed. I'll let him talk about it a little bit, and I got a couple comments.
Heather. Oh, okay. So Heather has a signal problem, shockingly, because there's wildfires. You're going to get my thoughts on that and what happened with former Secretary of the Interior under Trump, Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke. And here are the other stories we didn't want you to miss. Seattle's new minimum wage law mandating an hourly pay of $20.76. I don't know how they got to that number, but that's every hour. And it's gone into effect. And because of that, at least 5 restaurants have already been forced to close. Like, way to go, Seattle. Your woke intentions. Just pay.
So this woke BS, which is false virtue signaling, it's all a lie, because they don't care about anybody except themselves. Oh, well, you deserve minimum wage of $20 for flipping a burger. No, you don't. You've got to go back and get some skills to make some money. Minimum wage is for starter jobs for people in high school and stuff like that. And then you get a real job after you graduate or go on to college and get something different. You're not supposed to be able to survive on minimum wage. And business owners can't survive paying $20 minimum wage for. That's why in New York, they fired most of the people who serve at like McDonald's and Wendy's and stuff like that, and put up machines. Machines aren't going to ask for, triple, quadruple their value in order to keep working. No, you just plug them in. So they are screwing the very people that they are trying to help, or that they are claiming they're trying to help. They're not trying to help them. This is the racist party. This is the party that does not like people who are not of a certain education level from a prestigious institution, and people who are working for minimum wage are not those people. They're Americans, but they're not the left. A lot of them have been duped into believing they are, though.
The way for an economic hell. You don't say. Plus, as Biden border crisis rages on, the CBP has intercepted a rocket.
A rocket launcher. Awesome for all the terrorists and everything. Yeah, so I made a little bit of video about this before. They are claiming that borders need to be open. Their borders shouldn't exist, yada, yada. I mean, even though when Obama had the cages and stuff like that, the borders were okay. And Biden used our tax dollars to put a border around his beach house, one of the ones that the Chinese paid for. But borders around the country is not good. So they tricked all of these poor people to come into the country. And the women, they are almost guaranteed to get raped multiple times. That the NGOs actually give these people birth control pills and condoms. Not that I know any rapist, what's it called, Mexican cartel member who would wear a condom when they're raping a little girl, but they give them condoms anyway. I guess there's always the bit of hope. But all of this stuff is going on instead of, hey, you know what? Learn how to read. Apply in your country to become an American. Tell us why you should be here and you're so awesome, and why you love our country. And you know what? Then maybe you get selected. But this was done actually so they could lose the 320,000 children, which are all in the sex trade now. I think they're at Biden's house, but I think it's spread around with a couple different people.
Launcher and 2 rocket-propelled grenades at the Arizona-Mexican border. You can't make this up. Los Angeles is burning, and it's not from climate change. It's from years of incompetent policy. Let's do this.
And it's also in the Bible.
But I don't care how they feel, because their policies just burn down a bunch of people's homes and businesses. You will never solve a problem unless you admit that you have one. So I'm about to bludgeon Los Angeles officials into changing their policies.
First, I want to say, yeah, my heart goes out to most of these people, many of these people. I don't even know if it's most, many of these people. But this had to happen. And I'm so glad a lot of people are affected by this. The people who voted for this BS. Because you know what? All of these rich people, and these are like ridiculously expensive homes. I used to live out there. I know what these places are like. They're freaking huge and they're worth a lot. And they're all the Hollywood people, all these uber wealthy leftists who hate our country and sell out to China and tell us how to live and tell us, we have to wear a mask and we can't go outside with COVID and all the other things that they're doing. They didn't feel any of the pain. Shut down the truckers and stuff like that. No more gas. So the prices for all the food increases. They don't care. They can afford it. Now their house burns down. Okay. They'll get into the insurance later. I'll say that for a second. But the permitting, all of the rules and regulations that they've created now makes getting a $50 permit $500,000. Like, it's so ridiculous. All of the hoops that they had to jump through. And they got these houses when they were a lot cheaper. Then they were worth a whole lot. There's no way they're going to be able to rebuild. This is exactly what they deserve, and it's what we deserve too, because we deserve for these people to actually feel the policies that they're enforcing on the rest of us.
How did these fires start? I can't say for sure about this specific fire yet, but I can make a really educated guess. There isn't exactly a bunch of lightning in LA right now, so you can rule that out, pretty much natural causes. But from 2020 to 2023, the number of fires in homeless encampments have doubled. Last year alone, reporting 13,909.
Well, I thought they got like $24 billion to eliminate homelessness. I thought that's what Gavin Newsom was doing with all the taxes that they're paying.
In 2018, by the way, there were only 7 homeless encampment fires. Keep in mind, in the same time frame, California spent $24 billion with a B dollars on the homeless problem, as they called it. By the way, most of that money is completely unaccounted for at this present time.
Totally unaccounted for. It seems like they were buying people to be more homeless. They weren't solving anything. They were making more homeless people.
In fact, according to CBS News, in 2021, homeless encampment fires accounted for 80% of fire breakouts in the LA area. So if you stack this on the fact that California won't even trim a branch because all the hippies freak out about touching anything in the environment, this is what you get. Look, the liberal argument out there is that we should not interfere with Mother Nature at all, and that is why they don't do any forest management. Well, if just one of these people.
I think somewhere in the Bible it talks about praying to nature. And that's what the woke mind virus is doing. They have captured climate change and nature and just backwards thinking. The whole man can be a woman thing. No, you can't. You don't need surgery. You need a freaking psychiatrist.
Had read to page 2 in any book about this type of stuff, about, I don't know, nature, they would also know that fire is also part of the same ecosystem that Mother Nature uses. And it's pretty obvious that if we as people, or in California, don't clean up nature, she's going to clean it up for us. Trump has been saying that Newsom needs to do this since 2019, but no, he didn't do this. And now this is happening. This is why elections matter, folks. So combine all that with the fact, and this happens every year, the Santa Ana winds. They're blowing extra hard, almost 100 miles per hour this year. So you have a perfect storm for wildfires. But to absolve themselves of any wrongdoing or incompetence or any image of that, what do California officials rush to blame? Climate change. Where Axios writes, context, climate change is intensifying hydroclimate extremes, both wet and dry, including weather whiplash events where California seesaws between the two. It is so wild that these people call something climate change and then go on to describe weather.
The strongest Santa Ana winds ever were actually in December 2011. There were wind gusts of 167 miles an hour. Knocked down thousands of trees and powers out all over. But their complete incompetence had not totally taken effect, and they hadn't done the things that he's about to talk about now to set the stage for this to be absolutely insane. Come on.
Because it's a desert, it requires competent management to ensure there's enough of it. And right now, LA doesn't have either of those two things, water or competent management.
All the water that comes down from the mountains that they should be taking, that they spent $7.4 billion on creating like an aquifer. Of course, that money disappeared too. All that water goes out to the ocean because there's a fish that nobody knows of. Some fish. Some fish needs more water. Some fish in the ocean need more water. How do the fire hydrants not have water when you live on the friggin' ocean? Oh yeah, because they hired a DEI, some woman who was hired because she's a black lesbian. She knows nothing about fire, and you know what they did with all the real firemen? I'll tell you.
In fact, they don't have any manager at all. The mayor of LA is in Africa currently, making her way back after media outrage, but rightfully so. Why is she in Africa? When we talked about this water management of LA about 8 months ago, we called it here. How LA imports their water from hundreds of miles away. Their irresponsible allocation is a big problem.
And the electricity. They import electricity from Utah. They are mandating electric cars because it makes them feel better. So you can't buy a regular gas-powered car, but you can't use electricity after 6 p.m. at your house to charge your electric car. How are you going to get anywhere? They don't want you getting anywhere. That's what the truth is. They want you in an electric car so they can track you easier. And they don't want you using it. They don't know how to get the electricity. They don't think far ahead. It's all about virtue signaling. Oh, we're going to have everybody in an electric car and there's not going to be any pollution, even though there's more pollution to create the electric car in the first place. Way more pollution. I think it's like 80 years you have to drive an electric car in order to equal the pollution that is made from a gas-powered car in a year. That doesn't make any sense. There's not enough electricity for all the electric cars. So they're mandating people to be stuck at home with no water, no electricity. Oh, I love it.
People upstream in Colorado, like 500, 800, 900 miles upstream, were forced to restrict their water consumption to allow as much water as possible to flow down the river to the Colorado River Aqueduct. And why is that so important? Because that Colorado Aqueduct pumps all the water to the epicenter of the climate change narrative, San Francisco and Los Angeles. Where do you have left-wing lunatics screaming about like cow farts and rivers drying up while they take private jets and water 6-acre lawns at their $50 million mansions? It couldn't possibly be the fact that the population of Los Angeles, which by the way, is effectively in a desert, has doubled in the last 60 years. That's why your fire hydrants are dry, not climate change. The other issue they are facing is this.
We're doing the very best we can, but no, we don't have enough fire personnel in LA County between all of the departments to handle this. Thank you.
Oh, you don't have enough people. And who here would like to know why? Because first, the mayor of LA, Karen, of course her name's Karen, Karen Bass, cut the LA Fire Department budget by almost $18 million.
So they can't
and instead of investing the money they did have left to, train people and recruit other people, they spent it on DEI.
DEI, delusion,
Our department is launching its first
incompetence.
ever Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau. It is dedicated to ensuring a fair and equal workplace environment.
Because flames care about the color of someone's skin who's putting them out, right? These people are so stupid. All right, second, think
about how incredibly stupid that is. Firefighters need to learn how to fight fires, not understand the unspoken thoughts of somebody who's whatever. Like, dude, put out my fire. That's what you're here for. I don't care what you do, who you sleep with, what kind of thoughts are in your head. Do you know how to put out a fire? Okay, you be a fireman. But they wanted to get to represent a lot more women and minorities and all this stuff. So white men who are actually most of the population at this point, because white people are like 60% of the country's population, and so there are more white men than any other. They got rid of them all, just like Biden did in the military. Firefighters can be fired for refusing the vaccine that is not actually a vaccine because it doesn't prevent any disease. And it's untested, and there are a shitload of side effects. Excuse my language. There are a whole lot of side effects, and it doesn't work.
fired a bunch of LA firefighters for not getting vaccinated. Like, I hope this is some sort of a wake-up call here. Probably not, but I mean, it's California. You know what is even crazy? This gets worse. As Newsom activates the National Guard to bring in supplies and equipment, you know what LA did with their extra equipment? In 2022, they donated it to Ukraine. I wonder if they're going to kick some of that back in aid for us now.
Okay. What the left has been doing the last 4 years, it can't just be incompetence. There's like a limit where, you know what? You can't be this stupid. Everything you're doing is against reality. All your thoughts, all of your actions don't represent anything in reality. It's just the opposite. So much to a point that you have to be evil. They have to be trying to destroy America. In all the Marxist colleges, they all learn how bad America is. which is why all the people are breaking into our borders. Nothing they say actually makes any sense. There's no logic. And everything is to destroy America. Give all of our fire equipment to Ukraine? For what? Russia's bombing the hell out of it. Oh, give all of our missiles and stuff to Ukraine also. And all of our money. No, man. This ain't right.
You just can't make this stuff up. There are so many failures here. It's biblical. It gets even worse because California and the stupid laws that they pass over the last year, tons of homeowners have actually lost their fire insurance.
I'm sorry. There are, I'm sure, a small group of people who didn't vote for this stuff, and my heart goes out to them. And if there was anything that I could do, I would. But this had to happen for those rich idiot leftists who don't understand reality and don't have to live in their own policies because they have money. Now they don't. And they all deserve it who vote this way.
They've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance, and these insurance people decided to cancel their fire.
They didn't cancel it. They made it unaffordable, just like Obamacare. As a former nurse, I had the best insurance. After I got in an accident, I had a couple months of disability, and I was paying for my insurance with Cobra, $200-something. Obamacare comes in, makes it $930 or something like that, $860, just 4 times the price. For what? For less care. And then, so I lost it. That was like 15 years ago. But this is what the left does. They don't care about you. They want it to look like they're doing something. They spend more time looking like they're trying to help you than way more time than they're actually helping you. They don't care about you. And if you're on their side, as soon as you're not valuable to them, like Joe Biden, when they knew they couldn't cheat enough to win against Trump, they'll stab you in the back and kick you the hell out. You don't have to necessarily like me, but you gotta know I'm right, man. And everything that these people are doing is wrong.
We're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance.
Not the insurance company, people. It's not them. You know why they got dropped? 1, because the risk of fire was so high because of literally all the things I just mentioned. But 2, because California's regulatory framework intended to safeguard consumers has inadvertently prompted several insurance companies to pull out of the market. That's not me saying it. So, California, how many good people have to lose everything because you and your people voted for others that put in ridiculous policies that have...
Just like Walgreens and CVS and all those other places who were leaving San Francisco. And then some idiot libtard in Congress was like, oh, well, they're just trying to make profit. Yeah, they're a freaking company, and you're allowing people to steal up to almost $1,000 of their stuff. I believe some of that's been repealed, but yeah, you can't just steal from people. Like, there's no morals in this country anymore. People, please tell me, how can we get back to this? How can we get the morals again? I have some ideas. I want to hear what you think.
All culminated in the same horrific result. You see why elections matter?
If someone ever asks you,
Okay, I think that is about it. I know this video is late. It's already after 3. My apologies for that. And I actually have to run to a meeting. I'm going to get to, well, it's up now because you're watching. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I love the comments that you guys are giving me. Of course, I want to try to promote my website if I can do that real quick. Yep. So, I don't think it's all going to fit in here because I made this smaller. But, yeah, Walking with Jesus Ministries International. We're trying to do a Bible study, and I'm trying to get some funding for some other things that we're doing. I would love to hear from you Message me. Just say hi, dude. I love what you're doing on Rumble and YouTube and social media. Either way, God bless. It's Friday. Have a fantastic weekend, and I hope that you are not going through the BS in California. And if you voted that way, I hope this is awakening, and I hope you come to Christ and realize what's been going on. The devil has closed the eyes of so many people, and sometimes it's easier when your eyes are closed. I know that, but God is God is knocking you around every time. I really needed His help. He knocked it out of me. He said, "Look at what's happening," and it was a wake up call. And I pray that these people wake up and realize what's actually going on. God bless. Talk to you soon.